Alright, hello everybody. I know it's been a little bit for my music reviews, mostly because I've been focusing more on the podcast lately, and it's been busy at work or whatever, but that's beside the point. Today I'm catching up. I think it's a couple months old or whatever for the record, but I figured I was going to talk about it anyway because it's been a while. But Ghost Kid's self-titled record, Ghost Kid, of course, and this band is awesome. Like, if anybody knows of Eskimo Callboy, I think I've talked about them before for their latest EP or whatever. But what's it called? I'm talking about Sushi. It looks like Sebastian Basler or Beasler. I'm probably getting that wrong. But he goes as Sushi, but he used to be the lead singer of Eskimo Callboy. They split up, or at least he left to do Ghost Kid, essentially. And anybody that has listened to, like, old Eskimo Callboy, not like Eskimo Callboy's, like, super old or anything. I think they might be, like, 5 years old, maybe. Like, I think they've been around since like 2012, maybe 2011, somewhere around there. I think probably at least 9 or 10 years. But anyway, so he left, and then he instantly afterwards, it seems like right around the time when they came out with Hypa Hypa and all this stuff, he was already starting his own. So, like, the first single that they did was Start a Fight, which is dope. Best song on the album is Start a Fight, to me at least. And then they have, like, he has two different songs, or like it's the same song, This Is Not Hollywood. He does it once with Johnny Three Tears. That's like one of the last songs on it. And then I forgot who the original one was from, and right now I can't find it. But anyway, it's somebody else's singing on there. Forgive me if like Ghost Kid is watching this or whatever. They're like, this fucking douche didn't even say my name. But anyway, I much prefer This Is Not Hollywood with Johnny Three Tears rather than, but I mean, I'm a huge Hollywood Undead fan anyway, so like, I'm not surprised that I like the Johnny Three Tears version better. But I mean, still, both versions are good though. Like, I like both of them. I just prefer the Johnny Three Tears one. But I also have a problem, like, it feels like kind of a cop-out whenever bands do more than one song on their album. And that's why I was thinking about reviewing Hollywood Undead's latest one, their, what's it called? New Empire Volume 2, I think it was. But since they decided to put 4 of the same song on there, not like once or twice or whatever, but they did 4 times, I was like, nope, I'm not talking about it. Because that's kind of like, I was just like, it's a cop-out, I don't feel like talking about it. So, bleh. But anyway, so it starts off with You and I'm going to talk about it differently just because I'm trying to, at least to a certain degree. I was wondering also, on a side note, I think with Supernova, I was wondering because I think Eskimo Callboy's not the one before Hypa Hypa and all that stuff on. The last one that Sushi was on, I think it was called Prism. I think that was the name of that album. But they did a cover for actually, it might not be on that record, but I know that for Rage 2, they came out with a song called Supernova on it. So, and I really like that song too, but when I saw this, I was wondering if he was making a version, like his own version of the same song. Doesn't really sound the same to me, but knowing that it's like 2 of the same band that had one of the members in there, I was wondering if that's what they did, was that they were making his own version. But I really like this version too. I think it's one of the best songs on the album. Like, pretty much almost all of the songs I enjoy. The only one that I didn't really care for was, I think it's Cold World. That's the super slow one. Or, like, it just feels, like, heavy throughout the whole thing. Like, super heavy. It's just one tone. It's just, like, doing the songs where it's just, like, hits hard throughout the whole thing. And then that one is, like, right in the middle of the record. I think it's like song 8 or 9 or something like that. I'm probably wrong on there, but like it just felt out of place for everything else. I still like the song, but if I would be listening to the whole album, I would probably skip that one. That one's like the main one that I would probably be like, I don't feel like listening to this one. Everything else is good. Like You and I really enjoy. But like the main standouts to me are at least Start a Fight, Fool, Crown, and then I think it's Dirty and Sharks are like the main ones, other than This Is Not Hollywood and Supernova. I think those are like the main ones that they pushed as singles, because those are the ones that were, when they were releasing before the album came out, they did, I think it was Start a Fight first, where they did an actual video. Then it was, I think This Is Not Hollywood and Supernova around the same time. And then Crown was like the last one that they released before they released the whole album, which thankfully, like, I really enjoy every single song on this thing. And it reminds me of old, like, Eskimo Callboy, where it's We Are the Mess and a little bit of the, I think it's called Prom Queen EP or something like that. I think it's like, because they did a Prom Queen EP and then they did something else. I think it was Bury Me in Vegas was their full-length first one, first album that they did, and then they did We Are the Mess, which I honestly think that We Are the Mess is probably their strongest album, where you could tell that they were playing consistently. This is their sound that they wanted to stick to. And then the other albums after that, like Prism and Crystals, and there's another one that I'm missing that has the Scene on it, that became more like a pop version of the band. I think that's essentially why Sushi left, but I could be wrong. I mean, yeah, I don't, especially basing it off the tone that they have for this record, completely through and through. Like, it is super heavy. And if anybody likes old Eskimo Callboy, even new Eskimo Callboy, you'll probably listen to this and be like, yeah, I'm into it. Like, Certified is definitely the strongest song on there, because it's really just talking about, like, you having a bad day. It seems like you're just having a really tough day, and then it's just like you just want to beat somebody up to try to, like, feel better, that type of thing. Or at least that's what it was taking out off for me. But, like, pretty much all the songs are strong, like, very good. Like, every time I hear them, they all, like, sound okay, they sound separate, right? Like their own unique type of sound on each song, but also at the same time they fit in a wave. Like you could hear like everything and then be like, oh, okay, yeah, I could tell that it's like one band, one sound that they want to end up having, pushing for the whole thing. It looks like they end up having some other songs on here too, like Martian Waving Goodbye, which I don't see any of those. Superstar, I don't know. This is just off of like what is showing for Ghost Kid from 2020. But if anything, most of the other songs are probably from, because when I was looking for them right when Start a Fight came out, I noticed that somebody else had Ghost Kid as the name, and I think that's why they put the 0 with the slash in it. That way they weren't trying to go against copyright or whatever. So it kind of makes it kind of confusing. So if anything, it's probably the other Ghost Kid that they added the songs for. But yeah, I definitely recommend this album for anybody that's into like heavy metal as a whole. And definitely I recommend pretty much the whole record. I would definitely say start with Start a Fight though. I mean, like, if you really want to get a presence of, like, how the band is, or what type of music that they want to play, or, like, what type of impressions that they do, and stuff like that, like, what type of impressions they leave for you, I should say. But, yeah, in all, I mean, this is an easy review to do, and I figured that I was going to do this anyway, because, I mean, it's been a little bit anyway. I know that it was last year, but I knew that I was going to talk about it anyway. So, it's pretty late for me to talk about it, but, I mean, also at the same time, I'm going to be talking about a few other bands in the next couple of days, too. There's at least Architects, new record I want to talk about. So I'm gonna review that one, and then I think there was another one too. There's another metal record that came out that I wanted to talk about too. I just can't remember which one that it is right now. But anyway, kind of a quick one. I mean, most of the time, I think that I've talked about them for at least 10 or 15 minutes anyway. So, I mean, I'm trying to do it a little bit different than I have been doing it at least. But for anybody that has been enjoying the music reviews or whatever, I'll try to start putting them out on a consistent basis. Most of the stuff that we've been doing is most of the wrestling, and we started a true crime podcast, and what's it called? We started doing Scream Creeps, which is our horror movie channel. I'm trying to debate if I want to do an anime one, because I have been talking about anime, or like watching way too much anime lately. So for that, I would say if you like any of this stuff, you could go to our Heart of Geek website, where it's theheartofgeek.com, where it has all the links for all of our stuff, like all of our podcasts, all the YouTube videos, any of the extra stuff that we end up doing. You could like, comment, do any of the stuff that you feel like doing. And if you made it to the end of this video, I would say thank you, and I guess I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you.